to welcome everybody to the 4th Annual Library Foundation Gala. And I am substituting for Chief Jim Smith today as the MC, because last minute he got sick. That's what happens when you have kids who get sick, right? You catch it. So I haven't done this in so long, but it's a pleasure to be here to welcome all of you to our foundation dinner. Before we start, we're gonna have the flag salute. So the honor guards. Can everybody please rise? Place your right hand over your hearts, and we'll say the Pledge of Allegiance together. Begin. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Ready, two, pose, face. Please remain standing for the national anthem being sung by Chang. Peck?
Thank you. Say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight, oh, the ramparts we watched were so gone. Still there, oh, say that the star-spangled banner yet wave. Oh, the land of the free and the home of the brave.
Thank you, Peck. Please sit. Please have a seat. Well, I'm going to be your MC today. My name is Bob Jen, and I'm the president of the Monterey Park Library Foundation, and it's been a real pleasure to be part of the foundation, raising money and supporting the library. I also serve on the Board of Education for the Alhambra Unified School District, and we all, and I know everybody wears a lot of hats, so, but I congratulate all of you who give back to your community every year. At this time, we're going to have Carol Sullivan who's a Monterey Park Foundation member. She's going to give our inspiration speech today. Carol?
Okay, good evening. As a member of the Library Foundation Board, I am honored to share an important inspiration with you tonight. I must say, in reading so many quotes, it was so hard to choose from them. I could have written a book of quotes for you and submitted it to our library. I have chosen 2 quotes to share. First, I would like to present a quote from Margaret Mead. "Never doubt that a small group of thoughtful, committed citizens can change the world. Indeed, it is the only thing that has ever been." So as we start our evening, I would like for us to count our blessings for this time together, a time where we share in working for our library. This is our time also to enjoy the meal with our friends. You are all the inspiration in this meeting tonight in giving with a kind and loving heart. In closing, I would like to quote from Maya Angelou: "Any book that helps a child to form a habit of reading, to make reading one of his deep and continuing needs, is good for him." So thank you and enjoy the evening. Thank you.
Well, I'd just like to, on behalf of the foundation, as the foundation president, I'd like to welcome each and every one of you here today in support of the Monterey Park Library. This is our 4th annual gala to raise funds to support the library. And in the last 4 years, you know, the foundation has raised a little over $125,000 and to support the many programs. Every dollar that we raise and will raise today will support the many programs and purchase supplies and technical support for the library itself. The foundation members are all volunteers, as is the Friends of the Library too. We are honored here tonight to recognize an individual, the Honorable Mike Eng, and 2 organizations, the Chinese American Citizens Alliance, the Greater San Gabriel Valley Lodge, and the Los Angeles Lodge, for all their support and contribution to the library. We have 2 special recognition, one for Mr. Jack Mai from Super Geek for his donation of stuffed animal with a value of over $10,000 to our children's program, and a certificate of appreciation to Nancy Yu, who passed away last year, for spending many hours of her time volunteering at the library and supporting the library staff. You know, in the month of May, I had the privilege to read to some 2nd grade students at Inez as part of their reading program. The students wrote a thank you letter to me, and there's one letter I want to read to you. And she talks about reading. She says, "Dear Mr. Jin, thank you for coming in the morning. Even if we read that book before, I really appreciate how you read it. Now I'm going to tell you, reading is the best thing to do by telling you my opinion writing it. After all the books we have read, I strongly believe reading is good for your brain." You hear that? "I have 3 good reasons why. They are learning, having fun, and thinking. A reason why I think reading is important is because when we read books, magazines, or newspapers, we learn. For example, I learned what happened in the story and imagining in my brain what things and the people look like. Another reason is reading is fun. For instance, sometimes I get excited about a good story and I don't want to put the book down. The last reason is reading makes you think. An example is there might be some new words and I wonder in my brain, what does that mean? In conclusion, even though sometimes books can be boring, reading is always the best. And that's what happens when we have libraries. to provide books for our kids to read. And we know that as lifetime learners, there's nothing like a good novel or a good book. Because I share with the kids that when I read, sometimes I read before I go to sleep, and I find out I'm waking up in the morning still reading. You know, and she is right. We read to, one, learn, and it's fun. Two, it's fun, and there might be new words you didn't know. She summed it up. She summed it up by saying that reading is the best. She enjoyed reading. This is why libraries are so important in our communities today, that we have books for our kids to check out to read. You know, I just want to acknowledge my foundation board. They have been so terrific for raising funds for the library, and actually we have a really good time doing it. And they come up with some really good ideas. And I just want to name all my board members off. If you would just stand real quick. Where's Teresa? Teresa Amador? There she is. Alicia Martinez, where's Alicia? Alicia, where are you? Oh, there you are. Peter Chang, where's Peter? You know why he's so important? Because he does our books. He files our taxes too. Dolores DeRillo, where are you, Dolores? Dolores, where are you? And we have two new members, and they've done a wonderful job in helping us attain all the raffle prizes and helping us put this event together. Carol Sullivan. And Marianne Garcia. Marianne, where are you? And I really want to thank our librarian, Norma. Where are you? And there's one person we know we cannot give enough credit to, and that's Gwen. Where are you, Gwen? She does oh, there she is in the back. She does so much. She helped put the book together and type everything up and print. And she's just a wonderful person. And I gotta mention Richard Gorman too, because he kind of retired from us because he wanted to take time off. Where's Rich? But Rich said he wanted to retire, but I said you can't retire because only me and you could sign the checks, right? So Richard, thank you for still coming in and signing the check. He said he'll be back with us next year, so I'm holding him to that promise. But I applaud each and every one of you today who are here today. And let me just say this, last parting words. If you are interested in joining the foundation, please apply at the library. I guarantee you one thing, like I told Carol and Marianne, that if you become a part of this board, we will enjoy ourselves and have fun. And on behalf of the Monterey Park Library Foundation, we offer our thanks and your support for the Monterey Park Library. Thank you very much. At this time, I'd like to introduce our librarian, Norma. She has a few words.
Good evening and welcome. Thank you, Bob, for introducing me as the city librarian. My name is Norma Arvizu, and Bob is being a little modest in what the foundation has actually done. So for those of you who may not be aware of how much money they have raised in the past 16 months, the foundation raised over $87,000. That is not a small amount of change. And the majority of it, 82,000 of it, has actually gone to programs, authors, presentations, furniture, additions to our collection, And the list goes on and on. The majority of people who are sitting in this room are dedicated library lovers, and that is a given since you're here. But there are many folks that still are living in our communities that think the libraries are obsolete, are changing in a way that they do not transform. But I want to share a little something with all of you of what has happened in our library in just the past year and a half. I call it the evolution of library services. We added passport services, Mandarin classes for children and adults. Spanish classes will be added next. Computer classes from beginning Word to advanced Microsoft software. Chromebooks and iPads for checkouts by patrons. We became a proctor for Stanford University online students for high school. We became a proctor for Brigham Young University for high school students. We became a proctor for National Registry to give exams to adults with career goals. We expanded Wi-Fi throughout every corner of the library. We expanded our ebooks and platform. We added a puppet stage in the children's area. Additional story times like Marvelous Mondays and Little Explorers. We have a monthly legal clinic that's pro bono attorneys that come to offer free services to all the residents of Monterey Park. We have a full-rounded children's summer reading program with presenters every single week in summer. We have the Reading Rockets, which earned the PLA award nationally across the United States. And we've added 10 additional public computer stations, 5 in children and 5 in adult services. And we continue to add iPads for services. I don't think we're stagnant. I don't think we're obsolete. I think we're transforming, and we will continue with your help. Thank you.
Thank you, Norma. If you don't realize that we have probably over 34,000 people who visit the library each month. That's over 400,000 a year. So I want to just congratulate the city of Alhambra, the city council, and all the support people and the staff for supporting the Monterey Park Library. So at this time, I'd like to acknowledge all the elected officials who are here. So Honorable Congresswoman Judy Chau couldn't be here with us, but I think she has some staffers here. I'd like to introduce our city councilman, Mayor Pro Tem Stephen Lamb. Are you here, Stephen? Oh, there he is. Thank you. Councilman Hans Liang. Councilmember Peter Chang. The Los Angeles Community College trustee and one of our honorees, Mike Eng. From the Garvey School District, Henry Lowe. From the Alhambra Unified School District, Jane Manderson, our president. Me, I'm the clerk of the board. Adele Andrade Statler. Our current superintendent, Dr. Laura Tejas Galeano. And let me tell you, we will be losing a wonderful superintendent because she's retiring at the end of June. So I'd like to introduce our new superintendent in July, Denise Jaramillo. And from the Library Board of Trustees, I'd like to introduce Maria Elena Yepes, David Barone. David, he's over here. Betty Moran. Betty, are you here today? No. Jason Ding. You know, Jason is also the liaison between the trustees in the foundation, but I think he has more fun with us. Right, Jason? And Gloria Guerrero. Where are you, Gloria? There she is. I already introduced the Library Foundation members. The Friends of the Library, Nancy Gilmore. Where are you? Lillian Kawatani. Ellen Johansson. Rosalind Toastman. She's not here? Oh, there she is, way back there. And Lorraine Esparza. She here? Well, we thank you for all the elected officials, and I know the interim city manager's here. Ron Bowman, where are you, Ron? There you go. And I know a lot of the department's heads are here too, so I just wanted to have you stand up because you guys have been a big part of our support for the library. Pardon? Oh, and another person, I don't know how I can miss Thomas. Thomas Wong from the San Gabriel Municipal Water District. Sorry, Thomas. So at this time, after all these introductions, yes? Oh, former mayor, Francisco Alonso, where are you? Oh, sorry, Francisco. Oh, Polly Lowe. Polly Lowe from the city of Rosemead. Is there anybody else I forgot? Anthony Wong, former mayor of Monterey Park. Where are you, Anthony? Who? Jeanette Fish from Temple City? Oh, from a councilwoman from Temple City? Please stand. Okay. I think we got everybody. At this time, we're going to serve dinner, and then we'll come back with the rest of the program. Thank you. At this time, we have our Honorable Judy Chau here, our Congresswoman. So let's give her a round of applause, because Judy, would you like to, yeah, come up and say a few words?
Well, thanks, Bob. I appreciate your leadership, and thanks for making this event so successful. Let's give a big round of applause to our president of the Library Board Foundation, Bob Jin. Well, I am so thrilled to be here with the Library Foundation. This library does so much for the city of Monterey Park, and I'll never forget when the new library was built. It became the pride and joy of this city and is used so heavily. And it's so great that this library gets the support of people throughout this community, and such strong support at that. And I also am so thrilled that you're honoring these incredible individuals. Now, there's one person that I know here that you're honoring, yes. And that is, of course, Mike Eng. So let me say a few words about why I do think it's so great that you are honoring Mike. I know his many years of involvement with the library, it goes way back. When he first got appointed to the library board, it was a difficult time period. And many immigrants were coming in, and there were those that wanted to help the immigrants and those that were having problems with that. And so he was on the library board, and he wanted to help immigrants In fact, he was the one that got the lamp literacy program going. He got more books for the library. In fact, that's when we got the largest collection of Chinese language books in LA County in this library. Mike started the Tutor of the Year recognition program, and he got the library to sponsor the How to Become a Citizen video. But at that time, it was threatening to the then city council. And that was when Mike got involved in a landmark case, because the then city council then said that they wanted to fire the library board. And so that's when Mike joined in an action to ensure that the library board of trustees would be protected, that its free speech would be protected. Well, the courts agreed with them, and now library boards cannot be fired at will. They are protected as an independent library board that can make a decision specifically for the library. It was a landmark decision. And then he got back on the library board. But that's when the library was in bad need of being rebuilt. And it was so crowded, there were people everywhere and not enough space for the people nor the books. And there were incredible grants being offered by the state. But in order to get the grants, you needed to have matching money. And guess what Monterey Park had to raise? $350,000 in 4 months. Well, it was Mike that led the effort, chaired the effort, and basically did very intense fundraising for 4 months. And finally, when June came around, they had raised the full amount of $350,000, and that laid the basis for us getting this new library that we have today. And that is why Mike did go up to Sacramento to be awarded a most prestigious award, the Library Board of Trustee of the Year for California in 2002. How about that? I also want to thank the Chinese American Citizens Alliance, Los Angeles Lodge and Greater San Gabriel Valley Lodge. The Chinese American Citizens Alliance has always fought for civil and immigration rights and has fought for family unification. But what is so great is its involvement in the community. And so CACA Los Angeles has done oral history projects, educational workshops, earthquake preparedness workshops. Chinese American Citizens Alliance of Greater San Gabriel Valley has actually worked with the library in sponsoring book talks such as The Voices from the Bottom of the South China Seas, co-sponsoring film showings like Honor and Duty, the Mississippi Delta Chinese, and a movie presentation on the early life of Bruce Lee, and was a participant in the kickoff campaign for library funding for the local parcel tax. So we have some incredible honorees. Let us bring up all three of them. Mike Eng, Charles Mao, the president of the CACA Greater San Gabriel Valley Lodge, and a wonderful young woman who is president of the CACA Los Angeles Lodge, Annie Yee. Please come forward.
Thank you, Judy. It's always a pleasure to have her here and supporting the library. As you know, that She was a former Garvey school board member and part of the City Council of Monterey Park, and she's done a great job for us in Congress. Thank you very much. So at this time, we'd like to honor our honorees. We also have some certificates from State Senator Ed Hernandez and also from Assemblyman Ed Chau. They couldn't be here today. So we just want to acknowledge them. So our first honoree today, we want to honor CACA from the LA Lodge for all their contribution and hard work. And I know they have also provided the college programs at the library for our kids in Monterey Park and throughout the city. So, Annie. So on behalf of the Monterey Park Library Foundation and Library, we thank you for your support and contribution to the Monterey Park Library and all the things that you guys have contributed to the community.
Thank you.
Hi, my name is Annie Yee, and I'm the current president of the Chinese American Citizens Alliance of Los Angeles. And the Chinese American Citizens Alliance started in 1895 and is one of the oldest civil rights groups in America. It is a great honor, along with the Greater San Gabriel Valley Lodge, to receive this recognition from the Brueggemeyer Library. I grew up in Monterey Park. I went to Monterey Highland School. I went to Alhambra High School, go Moors, and so I spent a lot of time at the library, and Brueggemeyer is my home library. The Chinese American Citizens Alliance loves to collaborate with the library, especially through the efforts from our own Winston Wu with the Youth Council. Programs such as the art contest, displays, and interview skill workshops, community projects, including the earthquake preparedness workshop with the Monterey Park Fire Department, and sharing our Chinese American culture through historical films and visiting authors. Every time I walk into the library, I see Winston Wu, but mostly I feel welcomed and happy. It's a very special place for the community, and CACA is very happy to be part of. So thank you so much, Brueggemeyer Library and Bob Jin, and we wish you continued success. Thank you very much. Thank you.
So our next recipient, the other organization, the other CACA, they've been here, founded about 15 years ago or 12 years ago, somewhere around there, and they've been a big part of this community, and they've really contributed a lot to the library in bringing speakers and supporting our ESL program and literacy programs. So I'd like to bring up Charles Ma, the president of the Chinese American Citizen Alliance for the Greater San Gabriel Valley Lodge.
Hello, everybody. My name is Charles Mao. I'm the president of CACA, Greater San Gabriel Valley Lodge. It is indeed a great honor for our lodge to be recognized by the Library Foundation for our work with Brueggemeyer Library in Monterey Park. First, I would like to give thanks to our brothers and sisters from our lodge who have contributed to this endeavor with the library, and to the library personnel who are such good partners with us. As you know, the library plays a very important role in our lives, in all our lives. For it not only provides rich resources for information, education, and sometimes even recreation. It is also a meeting place for residents to interact and share each other's story and culture. This is especially important for Monterey Park, as it is a city with such an ethnically diverse population. And I can attest to the fact that I use the library a lot. I was there practically every day, so you'll always find me there. If you can't find me anywhere else, you can find me in the library, okay? And, of course, CAC is very proud to be a part of all these activities, interaction among the various groups, and the cultural activities, and so on. And the Greater Englewood Valley Lodge in the future will spare no efforts in continuing to co-sponsor cultural events for our citizens to enjoy. Okay, I can't help, as a final note, to plug our next co-sponsor program. Our next event will be on August 13th. It will be the screening of Finding Cleveland, a documentary about the history of Chinese Americans living in the Deep South. And I invite all of you to attend and to enjoy this event. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Charles. Our next honoree will be presented by our librarian, Norma.
This is going to be very exciting for me. 9 years ago, I met Mike Eng, who came to introduce himself to me when I was the literacy program administrator. So to be able to honor him and reciprocate that honor, I am very honored. But I want to say a little something before I bring him up. Has anybody ever tried to Google Mike Eng? It goes on and on and on. His accolades are incredible. And so I thought, well, I'm not left with much to say. So I thought, well, let me write a little bit of what I think of Mike Eng. There is a boundary most men fear entering, the boundary of speaking against the established norms for fear of retaliation. Mike Eng has never feared nor hesitated in crossing those boundaries. He believes in establishing domains where everything must be upheld in a civil balance. As an active civic member of this community, Mike has fought against inequality, oppression, and human injustice. It appears to be his destiny to change the human landscape. His passion for crusading for justice, political causes, and libraries are evident in his involvement in so many organizations and communities in the San Gabriel Valley. He is industrious, determined, self-managed, with a strong character development that has influenced so many others, including myself. Mike has been honored many times before for his record of civic activism, indomitable spirit, and remarkable service and contributions to the community of Monterey Park and other communities. He has served on the Library Board of Trustees, started the first literacy citizenship program in Monterey Park, and was known by many residents and patrons as a community leader. He is a friend to many and always offers a word of encouragement when you encounter him. His passion for humanism lives on in many lives of those he touches and influences daily. He has established a legacy of inspiration to so many of us and will cultivate our inherent right to speak for causes close to our own hearts. Mike has supported the library and has cultivated an environment of learning, of equality for everybody, has brought the attention of immigration reform, very much needed, especially in citizenship programs. And we are very honored to honor him today as one of the biggest supporters that we have, aside from his wonderful wife, Honorable Congresswoman Judy, to the library. And it is my pleasure, Mike, to ask you to come up for your award.
Well, thank you so much, Norma. Thank you for those kind words. Let's give everybody that supports libraries a round of applause. I want to, many of you know that I lived in Hawaii before. I just swam in this morning, and I had this wonderful lay. I want to thank Dr. Gay Yuen for the lay. Gay, thank you so much. I wanted to actually, before I accept the award, recognize the amazing people on my table, many of them who've been my role models and who've helped me along the way. The Honorable Polly Lowe, Mayor of Rosemead, the Honorable Alexa Victoriano, Student Trustee, LACCD, Dr. Gay Yuen, Cal State LA Professor Emeritus, among many other things, Scott Wormuth, Esquire, major attorney in our area, Thomas Johnson, Herbert Romero, and Daniel Oaxaca, the California Conservation Corps. Thank you so much. Wayne Eng, another Eng family member who's an attorney. Rosanna Huang, an amazing journalist. Andy Yam, who was my teaching assistant at Cal State LA. Carmen Chen, and Angela Wong. Thank you so much. Did I get everybody in there? And Judy Chau, of course, on my table too. Judy, thank you. I never got a congressional recognition before, but I'm going to trade it in and get a green card tomorrow morning. Well, thank you so much. I'll try to keep this under 4 hours, although we will serve a buffet breakfast pretty soon, too. First of all, thank you to the foundation. Let me tell you why this night, not the award, but this night is so special, and all of you are so special to me. As Judy indicated, when we moved into the community, there was some profound tensions between some of the newly arriving immigrants and longtime residents. And even as recall now this playing out on the national stage, there was an English-only resolution before the city council. The city council chambers was filled with hundreds of angry residents fighting over whether English should be the official language or not. Folks of all ethnic groups couldn't walk down to the market without hearing racial slurs sometimes. So the question was, where can we meet on common ground? Where can we put aside our differences and throw off the cloak of prejudice and meet somewhere where we can find agreement? And ladies and gentlemen, you're right at ground zero. It's the library. Consider this. When I got into the library board, the first thing we did was we developed an essay contest. And the essay contest is the first of its kind. And we wanted to go to every school district that was affected in Monterey Park and Alhambra. And the question on the essay was very simple. It says, write about somebody from another ethnic group that you admire. And we thought, boy, this is so foreign to what we're going through right now. We'll be lucky if we get 1 or 2 applications. The teachers saw it, and thank God for all the teachers here and the administrators from our school district. They saw it as a teachable moment. And we got hundreds and hundreds of essays, and we had to convene a jury of people that sat there for 8 hours to read every single one of them. And what happened was the top prizes went to some 6th graders, and they cut through the prejudice of the adults, and we asked them to read their winning essay at the city council meeting. And when they read their essays, a whole city wept, ashamed about what we as adults were starting to teach young people who were not yet prejudiced. And that was an eye-opening moment. And then we heard of immigrant residents who said, yeah, I know that you don't like me because I can't speak English. And I know I stutter, and I have to have a sign on my shop because I can't tell my customers who I am without my language. But I want to learn English. And they were frustrated, and they came to us, and they were crying. And so where did they go? They went to the Monterey Park Library. The literacy coordinator, I know that Norma was our first literacy coordinator in the nation ever appointed to be a city librarian. Give her a round of applause. Thank you, Norma Arvizu. And what they found in the library, and these were immigrants who spoke mainly Spanish or Cantonese or Korean or Mandarin. What they found was an elderly Caucasian man who was 85 years old, who had sold his furniture business downtown and devoted himself to teaching English to immigrants. And he would walk sometimes in 90-degree weather up from Montebello. And it was, as one person told me, it was the first time that this person had ever met a Caucasian person that wasn't yelling at them. And this person had a lot of love, and his name was Harvey Alperin. And the Monterey Park Library, your library, developed a plaque to the winning teacher that taught the most number of hours, because he taught thousands of hours. And he had people all over the world who would call him up in the middle of the night and tell him, thank you so much for teaching me English. And guess what? As Judy said, Harvey Alperin's name reached the state capital of California. And California started the Harvey Alperin Award, which later on became the Harvey Alperin Memorial Award, because he passed away. But his legacy is now known in the United States of America's Washington, D.C., and all over the world. Harvey Alperin started love, started understanding right here in the city, and taught thousands of people how to learn English. But these people began to say, how do you learn it after Harvey has gone back to his home? So we started a video program, and what we did, we tried to duplicate the citizenship exam because thousands of people were failing them. And so what we did was we just got one of those Super 8 cameras, and me, Mike Eng, I played La Migra. I played the guy that was doing the interviews, and and we had people that stood in to try to answer the difficult questions. We made that video in Monterey Park in this city. We did over 2,000 videos in 3 languages. They sold out in 6 days. 6 days, we had to do it over and over again. And guess what? We began bursting in our scenes. There were so many people. Lillian Kawartani, where are you? Would you stand up? Lillian, you still here? Lillian, wake Yukio up. This woman, along with many other people, taught citizenship to our library. It was so packed. Is anybody here from the fire department? Well, not you guys, but the fire department came in one day and tried to threaten to close it down because we had never, the room capacity for the library, never envisioned all these people crowding in there. Can you imagine a library that was so full that exceeded the capacity of the room? Hello, that never happens. And so what happened was we decided, instead of telling those people to go home, what did we do? We decided to expand the library. And so this is some amazing thing, and I'll tell you what happened, invented in your old city. Harvey Alperin became a national hero. Remember that video that we did? It got picked up by KSCI television. And they came to me, Mike Eng, I can barely speak, without telling a joke that nobody understands. And they asked me to write a script. And that script became the basis for a 6-month series on how to learn citizenship, how to learn enough English. It was done in 12 languages and ran for 6 months. And guess what? Somebody noticed that. And so we went to California, to the Pasadena Convention Center, where that video, invented in Monterey Park, won the Emmy Award. as the best instructional video in the state of California. Give yourselves a hand. Monterey Park, Monterey Park. And you remember that citizenship program where people have said, now that I have English, I want to learn citizenship and I want to pass that exam and I want people to register me to vote now. And guess what? There was an organization called the Southwest Voter Registration Project. Willie Velasquez, one of the civil rights leaders, not just in the Latino movement, but in the human rights movement. Because even though Monterey Park was trending Asian, Willie Velasquez, a Latino leader, saw that when there is an immigrant group struggling, I don't care what color they are, we all struggle. And so he gave $10,000 for the first voter registration drive in Monterey Park. And you know that library that was bursting at its seams? Well, guess what? Yukio Kawaratani sat there and filled out the application form on the second try. And guess what? Monterey Park doubled its size from 26 to 52,000 square feet with a state grant from the state of California of $8.9 million. And Monterey Park was the only city out of 88 cities to win that library grant that year. Give you a round of applause. That's Monterey Park. That's you and you and you. And so as Judy said, with all that success, what did the city council do? Well, no good deed goes unpunished. They dissolved the library board. And you know why they dissolved the library board? Because the library had too many foreign language books in it. Can you imagine that? But you know what? Good deeds never go unnoticed by good people. And there was a small little international law firm that heard about this. And they took up La Casa because the Monterey Park Library Foundation, the people that brought you the event tonight, individuals sued the city of Monterey Park because they didn't believe that standing up for immigrants should be a right to dissolve the library board. And guess what? That little law firm gave us $1 million in free legal services. That law firm called O'Malveny and Myers. How many of you are lawyers here? Ever heard of Wayne Eng? You ever heard of O'Malveny and Myers? Scott, one of the biggest, most influential law firms in the world, represented little old Monterey Park. And today you can go to any library in America and they know about that suit because invented right here is the premise that you cannot dissolve libraries because you don't like the fact that they're serving immigrant people. You did that right here, you and you and you. And so, in conclusion, you need to be proud of our library. It is the place of refuge at a time in America that we see so much division. This is the one place that we can still meet on common ground. Look at the people, look at you in this room. You are the real face of Monterey Park. You are the real face of California. You are the real hope of America. You really are. And I can feel that passion and the positive vibes and the desire to build coalitions right in this room. So in conclusion, let me give you a little ditty from something that is not very witty. We replace frustration with education, leading to naturalization. We replaced suspicion with contrition and brought coalitions to fruition. We saw balkanization replaced with unification. We started falling for adversity, but because of the library, we embraced diversity, and our literacy program became a United Nations university. So that's what libraries mean to me. Sheshe Daja, gracias por todos. Si se puede. Yes, we can do it. Yes, we can. It's our library. It's our state. It's our city. It's our country.
Thank you, Mike. You know, there's one thing I didn't mention today. We had a group of people who were really interested in last year in, to do a campaign to raise money for the library, and we call it Loved Our Library. And it was a bond measure we wanted to extend the measure that supports the library. Measure LL was a hard-fought battle. And I just want to thank you for all those who have contributed to that campaign. But a lot of the committee members are here today that was part of it. And I really want to say thank you to Andy for getting the National Honor Society to come out to walk. We had over, almost 100 kids. So thank you very much. And I want the committee to stand up. Walter, Jason, Janet, who else is there? Come on, you guys, stand up. You guys are on the committee. Henry, Phil, David, Teresa. You know, I tell them we got to pass this bond so I don't have to raise so much money. But we lost by 6% because we had to reach a 66 2/3 vote. And hopefully we'll see what happens next year. So I know that we're looking at trying to raise more money for the library. On another note, I just want to let you know that the little bags that we have for you, this is a book bag, and this is from the Library Foundation, and it's yours to take home for free. And we really, it's just to show our appreciation for you coming out here today. You know, in the past, we have had a lot of people come out and support the library. And it was brought to our attention not too long ago about a lady who really supported the library, came and volunteered. She spent a lot of time in the library and worked with the staff. Unfortunately, she passed away. So we want to honor her posthumously, and her daughter is here today. The lady we wanted to honor was Nancy Yi. She was a wonderful lady. She was part of the Chinese American Citizen Alliance for many years. And we thought it'd be befitting that we give her a certificate of appreciation from the Monterey Park Library Foundation. Annie, her daughter's going to come up here and accept it. Thank you.
I don't know how many people knew my mom, Nancy Yi. So she was a longtime member of the Chinese American Citizens Alliance, and she was Monterey Park Arts and Culture Commissioner, and she worked very closely with the library. She helped create the Artist of the Month, and she had many displays at the library, and she worked on the Oral History Project. She really loved the library, and she let me know all the time. So we would visit the library, and she just loved this community. So I want to thank you for recognizing her and remembering her. Thank you very much.
We really have another person who we got to give thanks to for his donation to the library, especially supporting our children program. He donated a lot of stuffed animals to our program. So we asked, what was the cost, the value of it? From what I understand was $10,000 worth of stuffed animal. And this young man and his company really support that library, and I think the children really enjoy those stuffed animal. And Diane, where's Diana for the library children's program? She works on the children's program, and they really appreciate your donation. And this one is to John Mai from Super Geek Box. John, would you come forward? John, I'm not going to have you sit there. You got to come on up. And it says, in grateful appreciation of your exceptional generosity and commitment to the Monterey Park Burgermeyer Library Children's Program. Congratulations, and thank you very much. My name is Vincent. Jason, I'm sorry. Oh, we're going to have to redo that.
Yeah, I just want to thank everybody for this opportunity. Hi. I just want to thank everybody for this opportunity, and it's a great privilege to be able to give back to this community and create some sort of value. It's a lot more gratifying than just running a small business, so yeah, I'm grateful. Thank you all.
I'm sorry, Jason, we're going to have to redo that plaque for you. I wrote down the wrong name. My apologies. We want to do one more presentation, and Norma, you'd like to do that presentation?
The next special recognition, remember I mentioned about we were trying to get iPads and Chromebooks to check out? Well, the library has a wonderful partnership with the Kiwanis Club. And we approached them with the possibility if they could help us out to purchase some additional Chromebooks so patrons can check them out when they're out in the library. So this special recognition goes to the Kiwanis Club, who will be donating an additional 6 Chromebooks to the library for patrons to check out. And I'd like to bring up one of the members, please, or both members of the Kiwanis, so we can give them this certificate of gratitude and appreciation.
Good evening. My name is Caleb Kwok. I am the Vice President of the Kiwanis Club, Monterey Park. The recognition or the acknowledgement doesn't bring any honor to me, but I want to use the opportunity to encourage all of us here to give to the needy, to the Library Foundation. So I just want to be an example of the things that we should be doing. I don't deserve to have the honor, but I want to bring it up. It is something that we are honored to do. Thank you.
Teresa? Okay. Teresa, you'd like to come on up and just thank the many sponsors and donors?
I have something very, very important to say. Could you all please stand for a moment? All please stand for a moment. Now, give yourselves a big round of applause. Thank you. Thank you very much for joining us this evening. And my role tonight is to thank our sponsors, but please take a seat. Thank you. Thank you. But I wanted you to, I know you're all busy and you have busy schedules, so I wanted to give you an update. To reserve on your calendars, Saturday, October the 7th, that's our day at the races. That's a day that you just come, relax, you don't have to listen to any speeches. It's all you have to do is sit and enjoy the races, bet a little, have a little bit of fun with your neighbor, and have a fabulous brunch. So that's Saturday, October the 7th. And the next thing, our new library board trustee, Jason Ding, had this fabulous idea about having a high tea at the library. So we've scheduled that for 2018, and since we're forward-thinking librarian supporters, we've selected February the 3rd, 2018. So put that on your schedule. Now, we wouldn't be successful if we didn't have the support of all of our service clubs, all of our community leaders, and our key communicators, and our donors, of course, and our sponsors. So as I call your names, could you please stand? Athens, Ed Chen, I know you're here somewhere. Oh, he left. He had his baby with him. But anyway, Ed Chen from Athens, he's a strong supporter of our library. And AAEDE, they sponsor our literacy program. They're not here this evening. TransTech, Albert Chang, also he's a strong supporter of our library. The Hensley Law Group, Central Escrow Group, Sing Poly, Royal Business Bank, the Mark Keppel, the Monterey Park Golf Club. This is their first time with supporting us, and we appreciate that. The Lions Club, and our own very own council member, Stephen Lamb, also. The Democratic Club, thank you very much, Democratic Club. And of course, our honorees this evening, CACA LA and CACA San Gabriel Valley, thank you very much. Our very own council member, Peter Chang, thank you, Peter. And of course, our fearless leader, Alhambra School Board member, Bob Jen. And none other than the Honorable Mike Eng. Thank you. Of course, then you have also the other supporters, which is, for example, the Alhambra School District turned out in force this evening. Thank you, Alhambra. And of course, Mercy and Rotary, the Fire Department Association, thank you, gentlemen. And of course, the dynamic duo in Monterey Park, Larry and Carol Sullivan. And where would we be without the Monterey Park department heads? And of course, our Women's Club, the Friends of the Library, the Mark Keppel PTA SA, and our very own Delario Robinson, the Kiwanis, the Lamp Optimist, the Shepherd of the Hills Church in Monterey Park over on Garfield, and yours truly. So on behalf of the Library Foundation, we truly wouldn't be able to exist without your support. And as if you notice in your program, we raised over $82,000 last year. And we want to make $100,000 this year, but we can't do it without you. It takes a team, it takes a village, it takes a community. So join us, and thank you very much, and good night.